Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Alta Call. This week, in the off season episodes, I am joined by a very familiar voice and a friend, Aid. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, friend?
I'm good. Surviving in Trump's America. That's how I answer every time someone says, "How are you?"
I like
um,
I would say to people, I'm like, I work for the federal government. Take that how you will. So basically, if you work for the federal government, you're like, I have a job today, don't know about tomorrow.
but you guys, I gotta tell you something about Aid. Anytime we do our catch ups, Aid is the word positive or is the word not negative? Like you're not like a like word like me. Like the world could be on fire and Aid would just say matter of factly like the world is on fire actually. What am I saying? I'm saying it
The
like it's
world's on
hypothetical.
fire.
Like Aid would just be like, well, I mean, the house is burning down, but what are you gonna do? I'm just gonna try and walk out the door, and if I don't make it, it is what it is. That is Aid. I'm oh my god, the house is on fire. Where's the what? Oh my god, why aren't you freaking out? That is our personalities on there. So every time we do our catch ups, when's the last time we had like a positive catch up? It's been catch ups with like not great news. I mean, but we're laughing. This is the bright side of everything. Is all I can tell you because yeah, going through it, a lot of things happening personally and in the world. So, But anyways, I am glad to have you here. Let's talk about bright things. Just like old times. And this week, we will be doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We will be talking a little bit about Atlanta because how can we not? It's all everybody's talking about. It's some people's season finales, but I think they're being dramatic. We'll talk a little bit about Beverly Hills, and then I think the mainstay will be 90 Day Fiance. Like, it's been a while since we did the catch up, but like we said, nothing's happened since the last time we did a recap. The
I
same
think
old things.
I at the end of the day, it's a slow moving show. I've been reminded of that. But I'm like, wait, we're gonna do another episode and nothing, but the things have happened, observations have happened, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. But you guys, little bit of housekeeping. Yes, the season is off, and I'll be having episodes. Like I always say, stay subscribed so you catch all the episodes whenever they come out. We'll see as the new shows come out, and I'll cover some. I have floated out there and in the Patreon chat also. If you'd like me to cover old seasons, and I'm thinking about it, so far I have two suggestions for season 9, which was North Carolina, aka Jamie and Beth. That
Hmm.
was their season. And I've had for the first Chicago season, aka Ashley and Anthony's season. So let me know if you have any suggestions, any shows, or where you want to cast your vote on that. And also join the Patreon because there's still episodes over there. Currently, most recently, I have the recap of the 90-day last resort tell all part 2, which I mentioned. I don't know how many parts there are, Aid. I'm just gonna surprise myself every time I tune in. If there's another episode, so be it. But that's up there on Patreon also, and that's patreon.com/altocall MAFS.
I
All
cast
right.
my vote for North Carolina, FYI.
I think because I don't trust my memory, we did a
We
ranking
did.
of the seasons. Okay, and that ranked high.
Yes.
Yeah, that is, someone asked online, "Oh, I'm trying to get into Married at First Sight. What season should I get into?" And I was like, "Listen, if you want to go into love, start with season 11. And if you want to go into mess, I think I actually said Atlanta. That was a Chris season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's where we got a lot of people into Mouse because the clips of Chris was floating around and people were like, "Is this even real?"
I
So,
love your perspective of that. If you're looking for mess, watch this. If you're looking for love, watch this. North Carolina has, one of my favorites, Deanna and
yes.
Greg. They have a
Mhm.
beautiful son, Declan. I follow like hardly any mass people, but of course I follow Deanna so I can keep up with Declan and his cuteness.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Well, like I mentioned, we will start real high level with Atlanta because For those who don't know or are under a rock, we already knew something big happened with Kenya. We actually got to see it play out. And there's just being a lot of discourse around this whole thing. And I would love to hear where you stand on this, Aid. Let us know.
It's just so sad to watch a legend go out like this by her own hand.
What am I? When you said legend, I do agree that Kenya is a legend. I'm not going to take that away from her. But I've been thinking about this because it's been my Roman Empire since Sunday when it aired. And I think we kind of forgot that, or at least for me, I was not a Kenya fan.
No, I wasn't in the beginning either.
Okay, because there are people who are actual like Kenya fans, but I think she had that same trajectory like Candace, where I did not like Candace, but people get so bad that you turn around and you begin to see Candace as, oh, I kind of like her. Check them green-eyed bandits out or whatever, and I think that's what happened, and we kind of forgot what Kenya is capable of.
That is true. I think what happens with the Kenyas and the Candaces is the longer you're on these shows, the more we just appreciate people being honest. And at the end of the day, the two of them, no matter what they have or have not done, we start to realize that from the very beginning, they have always been honest. Honest about
Hmm.
their opinions, honest about their thoughts, honest about who they are. That's where I appreciate Kenya for the most part. Even when she's being awful, I still think that is her true self.
And she still managed to toe the line between she's a villain, but she's a villain you love to hate. It's not like pure evil.
And she was smart and she was funny, which you can appreciate about a villain.
And that's what makes this so confusing. Like, knowing Kenya for how long we've known her, there are so many angles she could have got her revenge. And I'm so confused as to why this happened. Why didn't she just play victim? Why didn't she just say, I'm not filming with her? Get this girl out of here. Why didn't she just lay out all the tracks? And the questions I've been asking are, was it the shots of Patron? Because they made it a point to show us her downing a bunch of shots during that. Was it producer pressure?
When you went to Kinko's to print the stuff out, I mean, that's not an instantaneous decision. That's a plan that can be stopped at many points in the plan.
Why did no one else stop her? Who printed it? Which assistant got it? Who did she tell about it? Who brought it on there? Who put it on the cards? And no one said, Kenya, I mean, I might lose my job, but I don't think this is okay. Why do we think production aired this? Why not lie like everything else and just, we're not going to put this on air?
Well, okay, sometimes things I think are a little bit more simple. So last year, Kenya was annoyed that she shot all this stuff about her spa and getting
Hmm.
ready and building, and apparently saw none of it, and she was mad
Hmm.
about it.
Hmm.
So I think it may be as basic as I want to make sure that my spa opening makes the episode. How do I ensure that that happens? Something that they cannot cut out because it's so ridiculous. I just don't think she thought it all the way through. And I also think when we heard about the story, we didn't hear the part where this woman said some things, Britt said things that should not have been. Why are you talking about a pistol? And yeah, like that was a bit
Hmm.
too far. And that wasn't
Hmm.
part of the narrative. The reaction was only what Kenya decided to do in revenge was the only part we got.
Yeah, because this woman came out and, like you said, she didn't say that she had it. She's coming on What Happens Live. Andy asked, "Do you have questions for her?" And I'm like, God bless you for actually wanting to come on What Happens Live. I mean, I will definitely be watching that to see how she defends herself. But I think what happened, I don't know what the time is between that dinner at the Vault and Kenya's opening, and I'm wondering if Brit threatened to sue Bravo, because a lot of the things being said is, why did that make air? Why was she allowed to continue after talking about pistols and things and whatever? And I'm wondering if after the pictures she threatened for a lawsuit and Bravo just, chose the lesser evil and figured letting Kenya go was easier than dealing with whatever Brit would do if they let her go. Because the right thing we can agree is like they probably should have let her go or suspension too, or what do you think? Do you think she should have been penalized for that? Because to me, that's violence and that's gun violence, and that's like, I don't know how you can say that in passing so casually, knowing
Hmm.
the gun climate of this country. Like, what are you trying to do or say?
I will say that I am of the opinion that Bravo does not really respond to threats of litigation. Um,
Mm.
the people who have sued them have not been all that successful. Brandy is still in the middle of trying. Like I don't think the cast members even have, like, I think they've signed releases and waivers and they really can't sue Bravo. And the limited things they can sue Bravo from, Bravo, I think, is well prepared to defend themselves and they don't care. So I don't think litigation or the threat of litigation really forces their hand when it comes to this nonsense.
But have they ever had a situation where someone is posting practically porn pictures of someone else? That's where I'm thinking she might have had a case.
She might have had a case against Kenya. I don't think she would have had a case against Bravo. Oh wait, you can't sue your castmates. So yeah, I don't think that was it.
Wait, you can't?
It's part of your Bravo contract is that you can't sue your castmates.
What's the whole thing with Shannon and Bellino and all that?
Yeah. Jim sued them, not
But her
Alexis.
her name was not on there. Oh. I just feel like I've heard. Oh, okay. Interesting. Um Now, the other thing that people have been talking about is a comparison to if this happened in Beverly Hills, let's say this happened to Kyle, what would have happened? And is this just a thing? I don't know if it's a thing that's Atlanta or if it's in that's Kenya. Because remember when Kenya wore the Halloween outfit?
The Halloween outfit.
She was dressed as a Native American,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Luann did blackface. It's just,
but nothing happened, right? But
yeah,
Kenya had
nothing
to
happened.
issue an apology.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So is it a Kenya thing?
Like, are you? I guess your question is: does Bravo? Do I think Bravo or producers or whoever did the best job in addressing the situation with Brit? No, because she shouldn't. It seems like she got away with something simply because the retaliation for what she did was so bad.
Yes. I think my question is it a franchise thing or is it a Kenya thing? Like,
I
if it was Portia, well, who do they love? I can't use Candy because Candy would never do that. Like, the little girl came for her last season and she didn't. I don't know. She did yell at her. But if it was Candy, who I know for sure that they love, would they react the same way? Or is it like it's because it's Kenya? I don't. That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. I'm willing. It's a theory that I'm willing to buy that they weren't as willing to protect Kenya as they would other cast members.
Mm. Because yeah, I'm trying to be balanced about it. I asked about the Halloween outfit because she apologized. They let her go. Does she pull that kind of stunts too with Portia, with the props? And she was fine with it. So I'm just trying to be even with it. But at the end of the day, we lose. I it's missing Kenya. It's
At the
missing her
end of the day,
confessionals.
I would rather have Kenya than this brick girl on my show.
Yes,
that's
yes.
that's it.
Absolutely. Like, I would never, to make it clear to everyone, I'm not saying that what Kenya did was right. It is not right at all. That was just going too far. I don't know how she didn't even read the room. It just seemed like something else was going on because at the point where people say clearing the room, that was very obvious. Maybe stop. Like, even if it was just the first printout, stop at that. But she kept going and wasn't reading, and she just kept making that speech about her and haters. And that's where your point is valid, that she just wanted to make sure that that made air because of what happened last time. Boy, poor Brooklyn don't have a college fund right now.
I mean, I didn't actually watch the clip, but Kenya was on. Was it Jennifer Hudson a few months ago
No,
promoting her
Tamron Hall.
Tamron Hall promoting her
Hmm.
book? And it
Hmm.
sounded like I heard she said an apology or something that was approximating an apology and
Yeah.
expressed some regret for her actions.
Yeah, but except that now, whatever she's doing right now is kind of negating that. And I think the angle she should be taking right now is what I did was wrong and I shouldn't have done it, but I wish it was handled better and then be quiet. But I think hearing all the fans supporting her has amped her up again and she's letting her dark side come back to life. And I don't think she's handling it in the best way. She's just like, don't talk about this. You don't know legal. Don't call it revenge porn. You're misinformed. And she's reposting things to the point where she reposted a tape free Kenya tape over her mouth and she's like justice for Kenya or stuff like and I'm like, all right. Can we, relax.
I'll say this: I'm not opposed to Kenya being allowed back. I know I
Neither am
should
I.
be, but I'm not.
I would say that. I've said that. I'm like, I'm a hypocrite. And the thing is, I just want to add, I am not even a Kenya fan. But I'm just like, can we just not close our eyes and let it be? Because why was the investigation not like the Jennifer Aiden and Danielle fight in Jersey? They slapped each other, they had a fight, and they were on pause and they did an investigation. And they came right back and they started filming like nothing happened. And that's what I'm trying to figure out is what happened that they had to suspend her. Like, what were the implications where they chose that we will suspend Kenya? Because why not just do the Bravo thing? They don't listen to us, they don't care. Just act like nothing happened. Everyone's going to blow over and then everything is going to continue. If you're not going to do anything to Brit, why not just continue and say, oh, we put her on suspension, put her on notice, and then she came back to start filming or reduce her episode, something. So I just feel something happened that I don't know what it is. And my other question is during that scene, people were filming on their cameras. What
Uh,
did they do to make sure that nobody leaked
uh,
that? I did not see not even one leak of that footage.
why do
I'm just,
okay? I was about to say, was there? But if there was, you would have seen it. Uh, I
yeah,
guess Bravo stopped people at the door, went through their phones, and deleted everything.
I don't know.
Somehow they made positive control. Because I wouldn't trust people to, have the good sense.
Of
Or
course
maybe
not.
Kenya getting fired put enough fear in everybody that they should know they do not want to put that out.
I don't know. There's not enough sense going around in the public right now that I don't. I have people's stuff is in the cloud. Like I literally saw a man have his phone just up high in the sky, just recording the whole thing. So I'm just like, that is kind of crazy. But I mean, there's some kind of thing because even Kelly's husband. I was telling a friend that when they premiered, I was like, who is this man? He sounds terrible. So I Googled, I saw a picture of him. It was only one picture. And then another picture has been circulating lately of her wedding day and how different she looks. And there's a man beside her. And I'm like, that's not the man I saw. And then I started Googling to find a picture. There is nothing on this man on Al Gore's internet. He has scrubbed himself clean. Unless I'm not searching well, but the picture I saw the first week is not there anymore. So I don't know what Bravo did, but that leads me to believe that Bravo, I knew they had power, but they got power to be able to to be able to prevent this. So it's unfortunate. I said it before. I'm glad that Portia was coming back, but Portia is not leading lady material. She needs a good ensemble around her. And we already have what, three new ladies? Shamir is great, but we need more people. And Kenya was on par with her. And they needed that familiarity to bridge the gap with these new people who are still earning their stripes and not so likable. And her not even having a confessional. Like, why didn't she have a confessional? Like, I don't know. That was that is something. But it's just sad, like you said, to see a legend go out like that.
I hope she'll be back. That's all I can think.
Do you think she would come back?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I don't think she's made all the money she could possibly make from Real Housewives. I don't think anybody really ever does.
Oh, plus again, she needs money to make up for how much she's sank into this. I will say though, like when I was thinking about all the excuses, I wondered if it was that thing. Kenya has this thing about being protected. Do you remember when they went to Jamaica and the whole thing with Sonia's husband? And she's like, "Oh, I don't have a husband to protect me," and things like that, or men talking to me. There's been a couple of times where she's done that, and I don't know if she felt that again or if she felt triggered when Brit was going on about the pistols and saying, "Where's my husband? Where's my husband?" and all that. And that was just her, I don't know, trauma response, just whipping back up again. Or am I giving it too much credit?
I think you are giving it too much credit.
I'm just so shocked that she behaved that way because Kenya is one of the smarter housewives, and I think I've just been going through scenarios in my head. Like, what could it be?
And I think that it's actually a little disturbing how I'm not that shocked.
Yeah, I am. Not even Mario brought her to this level. That's crazy. You let a newbie take you out? Mm-mm. Okay, before we move on, I just want to mention that to me, the villain is Angela's daughter.
Oh
Something's
my
going on
God.
with that little girl.
That was, I think what annoys me about stuff like that is I just watched a scene where things were discussed and things were talked about. I still have no idea what the hell is going on. So you argued with the, and I also didn't appreciate like when she's describing how she got into an argument with the grandmother and the aunts. She's like, "Well, you pay for this." I'm like, "Yeah, your mom pays for it. What does that entitle you to come use the car?" Like she told a story, and I was like, I'm not sure if I'm buying your version of events, and your interpretation might be a little bit off.
If there ever was an interpretation of Gen Z, she was Gen Zing so hard. And this is too much. I'm overwhelmed. Ma'am, you're the one discrediting your mom who just told us you're best friends and you've been married. And she's like, I was going to tell you. Her mama said, it's been 4 months. When were you going to tell me? And
There were many
also,
questions like, "Who is this boy? Does she met this boy who she married?" I say boy because they just look so young.
yeah,
Um. Anyway,
24. Yeah, she was. I mean, the other question is, why does this girl not have a car? She's Charles Oakley's stepdaughter. As much as Angela wants to tell us about Charles Oakley, get her a Corolla or something. Like, why does she not have her own car? That would solve everything. Why is she living with her grandma and her aunt? What is this story?
but does she live there or does she live somewhere else and she came to the house to get the car?
Well, she
She
said
did not
that.
look good in this story. She did not look good in that story. I don't care. And that was when you don't look good in the story you are telling. It's not good.
I think that was it. Is that at first you could be like, "Oh, that's what it is," and then her mom had to ask her, "Wait, what do you want me to do about my mom? Like, not talk to her, take care of her? Like, what exactly are you asking me to do? So if something happens to me, you're just gonna be like, it's too much, mom. I'm not taking care of you.' I mean, then again, as we get more context and more information, her mom is self healed after being diagnosed with was it schizophrenia?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's another angle that she didn't say that we didn't know before. But that's also, I just want to say that's a positive for me for the new girls with Atlanta. I say that this new women, the thing they come with is they have a depth of stories. Like they all have stories with their sisters, their ex husband, their kids, their stuff. The fear is if they exhaust all the stories their first season, what else is left for the rest? Because they're all fighting to be, an Atlanta housewife, and it might be one and done. But yeah, so that's about it. Do you have any other thoughts on Atlanta? I think Shamia is great. That goes without saying. So I don't know, Drew, thoughts?
Um, I usually hate Drew. And I realize now that I must have just hated Ralph because I'm actually okay with Drew now that Ralph is gone.
Or is it that Drew's just done nothing to hate? Like, I feel like she's being ganged up on, yes. Drew has no substance, but I've always said that she's an essential housewife because she's delusional and a liar. But I don't know what's happening this season. She feels sidelined.
Yeah, she's
Which
not part of the action, except for arguing with Portia. I mean, I did love the arguing with Portia about Dennis. I even loved, like you said, the delusion. Like, why would it be a big deal that I'm filming with your baby daddy? It's not a big deal. I loved it.
why would you stop me from filming with my angel on earth? Why? Of course not. So, yeah. All right. I guess the next thing we're going to not look forward to, but is to see is the demise of Shamia and Portia's relationship. Some people have surmised that they planned that, but I don't know. I don't see Portia planning that kind of storyline.
No.
So, yeah. So, we'll see. Okay. All right.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
this is ancillary,
Yeah.
but Portia and the whole Simon situation
Yeah.
and completely predictable. I'm sure if you go back, well, maybe we didn't record this, but We knew they weren't going to last.
I mean,
Re- I,
everybody knew that. I think, unfortunately for Portia and her comeback, this was supposed to be her storyline, and this man decided to feed her all these papers, and she can't film anything. And it's like, without Simon, what does Portia have? But she's a good ensemble player, so she's ensembling with everyone else. All right. Let's move to Beverly Hills. This show, I think I've told you this before. This show gives me anxiety. It's the only show I hear so much talk before I watch it because I watch it on Peacock. I don't like ads and all that. I don't watch it live. And I hear all the things and I'm like, oh my God, what have they done again this week? Like, who are they being mean to? And this was like, this started towards the tail end of the Rena days when she just went off the hinges. And this reunion is pissing me all the way off, Aid. I can't believe we have one more part.
I feel like it's almost like the reunion doesn't have much to do with the show. Like, all season long, we watched something, and now we're watching something a little bit different. Like, how did Garcelle become public enemy number one? She
Hmm.
wasn't that way during the season.
Fox 5 got together. How can we turn this around? And Dorit and Kyle were at each other's throats all season. Usually, what they do is anything anybody says, they chime in and then they just add a little salt and pepper to it just because you're my enemy. But they all kept quiet at the same times and hopped on the train on Garcelle at the same time. And this was just odd. I think Garcelle was so taken aback. She's like, oh, okay. And the thing they do to Garcelle is when she does have something to talk about, they move on because she really wanted to talk about Erica. What is it that Erica said? And she was like, yeah, let's talk about it. And she was like, Erica said, that's how I felt. I just wanted to say that. And then they moved on. And you can see Garcelle's face, what she's feeling all the time. And it was the same thing as when they threw her book in the trash and Andy was like, oh, let's move on and let's move forward. So whatever is so important to Fox 5, I can never get their names right.
The Fox
Whatever.
Force 5. Oh,
Yes, Fox 4. Anyways, Fox Force 5, it's we go on and we go on and on about it. And then when it's Garcelle, it's like, well, you did that. And then she has to apologize. That always breaks my heart. And then we move on. And basically, this was the Dorit show. Dorit was talking for all of it. And being mean, by the way.
being mean, nasty, with not a leg to stand on. I just want to make this very, very clear. I found it very funny when um, Sutton made that wallet comment. Want to know why? Because it was true. Dorit is poor. We were just talking about her pre-foreclosure because PK didn't want to talk on the phone with somebody. um, I just I hate to say this, but the Beverly Hills women are just not good in the moment. None of them. Not even Garcelle is that good in the moment. Because if someone said to me, your house is on the main road, while their house was in pre foreclosure, that is the easiest comeback there ever was. And Sutton just sat there.
Especially when, from what I've heard, Dorit lives in the Valley, which is the poor people's LA where the Vanderpump people live, and Sutton lives in Bel Air. So what are we saying? And I just want to add, I don't. I think that Garcelle is good in the moment. Garcelle is just not want to lose her cool and maybe have a Kenya moment and just say the wrong things at the wrong time. I think. I think she knows what to say and she has good comebacks, but she's just like, these people are not worth it.
I also, I have always thought that that robbery was shady, and I thought PK set it up. At one point, I thought PK and Dorit set it up. I'm willing to revise my opinion that it was just PK.
Yeah. And that's the thing. But let me say this. Garcelle is not always right. I'm not saying that in any way. In this whole PK situation, is she saying what a lot of people were thinking? Yes. But I think she should have dropped it and she just let it go and just like, now is not the time to be open and honest. Like, be honest, own it. Now is not the time because there's situations where there are cases, and I've actually experienced it. Like, for example, let me give a hypothetical example. Someone tells you that they're sick and they have like a really grave illness and it's not true. You have to err on the side of caution and not be like, no, you're a liar. You don't have whatever it is. You just shut the fuck up and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then just let it be. Like all these podcasts and stories where we heard of people scamming people for money from cancer. You're going to be an asshole if in the 1% chance it is true. That's what I liken it to. Garcelle should have just been like, it's so bad what happened because it did seem like there was no empathy. And Dorit did seem shaken by it, but even her husband told her that she was overreacting. She's not mad at him.
Oh, he told her he was overreacting. That's what makes me think he was part of it. He's like, "Why are you still upset about this thing that I it up I'm telling you, there was something shady about that robbery." She's the one who came to the reunion to then tell us about the $10,000 that was in her purse at Walmart or
Mhm.
wherever. There is some those people are grifters. There is something inherently grifty about the two of them.
There's so many stories out there, and you never know what's true. But one of the things that I saw was like Dorit came back to the house early. She was not supposed to be at the house. And then that happened, and that PK had some gambling debt, and then coincidentally, he got paid off months after that. I don't know what it is, but I think the thing that people are always holding on to is that the robbers came back and put the phone where
Even Andy said that.
I, you know, I'm just gonna follow my advice of what I said right now. I'm not gonna be the asshole that says anything, but I just feel like at that point, Garcelle should just let it go. And I think that is the flaw of Garcelle, besides being Sutton's friend, is just sometimes it's not worth it. Just let it go. Just sit there and earn your paycheck like Erica. I know you're not afforded the same right, and you're still gonna be hounded about it, but the same thing applies to the Kyle thing. You just bringing it up is only gonna get misunderstood because no matter what Garcelle does, it's wrong and is right. These women have hated her from the very beginning. They've hated how the fans rallied for her. They hate how anything they do or say, like some of the fans just say, oh, it's about race or is this? And then they say, oh, Garcelle makes everything about race when it's not actually her, except for when she does stand up for something that is important to her and pointing out the stuff when she stood up for herself with Dorit. Dorit practically proved her point by saying, yeah, I do. They work for me. So, you know, these are the things. So she should have just let it go because now they're spinning it like Kyle, like she's trying to out Kyle when that is not the case. I'm so glad Andy brought up, like, okay, stop trying to eat your cake and have it. Like, you did a video shoot, you go everywhere this girl goes. And I don't know if Kyle knows that Morgan is using her for publicity, but I'm going to just keep my mouth shut.
I love that Andy was like, she's not she's a musician and she wants people to listen to her music. And I'm sure that she has benefited from having herself on our show. So please stop with this whole Morgan is a victim of having her name said.
Who knew who Morgan Wade was? Like,
I
let's
never
be
heard of her.
honest. Let us be honest right here. And I absolutely 100% believe that Kyle had that conversation with Garcelle to shut her up, not because she was building a friendship. She hates Garcelle. And she
It was
has,
so gross. She was like, I had a I think what got me is like that conversation was clearly strategic. It wasn't genuine. It's not
that's
because
what I'm
we're
saying.
friends.
Mhm.
There was a strategy behind me having this conversation with you. And you can see Garcelle thinking about, do I call her out for that? And then she's just like, okay, I'll let it go.
Yeah, all of the sisters have a vindictive streak, and it comes out when they're wronged. They like to put it on Kathy, but it's out there. But let's not forget the sisters were the one who hid Brandy's crutches because they didn't like her and all that. So, okay, when Kyle tried to say, I'm not a liar. Okay, Kyle, I'm a girl's girl. Okay, and then I called PK. It's just, I'm so glad she quit. I think that's the summary of it all. It was time. I'm glad she knew it was time. She needed to pick it up. She has her, she's relevant again, but we be knowing. We say this thing like in Black Hollywood, we don't play with fancy. Like, find out who Garcelle was, but you don't need to be in a situation where you're clearly not wanted. So I guess my question to you now is, how does the group move forward? Do you think Bose is going to come back? And what do you think the dynamic is going to be?
I do think Bose is going to come back. I semi enjoyed her, but it was very difficult to enjoy her when I really hate Dorit and she was just up her ass way too much. And I don't know why she was on her side. Dorit did not need a supporter. I guess Dorit did need a supporter, and Bose was like, "Okay, I'll do it," and I didn't care for it.
I'm going to say this. I did not even have a problem with their friendship. I actually enjoyed their friendship together. I mean, if it's genuine as it can be as a housewife, my problems with both started at the reunion. It was totally unnecessary to turn to Garcelle and speak to her the way she did by saying, like, if you think that she could sway my opinion about you, then that means you don't think highly of yourself. I had to rewind to make sure, like, who is she talking to? Surely not
Uh,
Garcelle, but it was. Like, why did you feel you had to do that? I'm not saying that she's not outspoken and she's not speaking of her own, but this is a woman who gave you the chance to form your opinion and meet the women for themselves. Why would you do that? To me, it was like trying to embarrass her.
I look. I'll say this too. Um, I do not think that Garcelle was like, "Oh, I should just let you form your own opinions." Garcelle knew that she wasn't to be trusted. If I tell you
Ah.
anything, I don't trust that it's going to stay between the two of us. And I think the way that the show has cleared out, that was a good
Mm,
instinct.
that you are so right about that. You know what I'm mad at? You know what my opinion of Bose was before she joined the show. And I turned around and I was like, oh no, I like her. I want her to be here. And now I feel like I can't go back around to my original thought about Bose. So,
Her whole like little speech to Garcelle, I have followed Bose on Instagram for probably too long. It very much read as one of her Instagram captions. There
yeah.
are a lot of people on Instagram writing very, very long captions with the depth of the lessons of the I don't know how to describe it. It's a certain Instagram speak, and that's yeah. There's always a lesson. There's always that is very much on brand for Bose.
Hmm. It is. I'm just curious to see how it goes, but I don't know if I even want to know because I'm just like scrap the entire cast. Can we get people who are nice? This whole attacking people, picking one thing and dragging it on is not fun anymore because it's like who are we going to attack next? And then Kyle threatening to quit stop it.
Oh,
Stop it. Either you shit or get off the pot. Like we know you're not going anywhere. And then Erica, pick a side. Like, you don't like Kyle. She was just mumbling under her breath the entire time. Why is it that anytime they ask a shady question or anything, her answer is Garcelle?
because I can't. This is what bothers me about Beverly Hills, and I know that I'm part of the problem. I can't stand any of them. I liked Garcelle, and sometimes Sutton would grow on me for a little while before she would do something. I'd be like, wait, I don't actually like you.
Hmm.
And yet every year you come back and you watch.
Yeah, we are part of the problem.
They're
And
not,
I
no
just,
one's getting replaced. They might add someone new, but it'll be the same crew next year because I'm sure they've gotten excellent ratings this year.
yeah. You know who I wish was in this season? Crystal.
Yes, I
Yes.
miss Crystal. I don't know why they fired her.
Mm, Fox 5, whatever. Once they don't like someone, they leave. So, I don't think they cared for Crystal. And
I
then
think it's
she was
really
out.
hard to be on the show when clearly like people don't want you. I think the
Hmm.
only reason Garcelle even lasted as long as she did is because of Sutton.
I think it was for business opportunities.
Okay,
I don't
either
think
one
she.
of those is fine, but it wasn't because it was a pleasant group of people to be around.
Mm-mm.
Oh, they're so terrible.
Mm-mm. It's so hypocritical. Like there were just so many chances. Like why didn't Andy ask Erica, we don't know who you date. We don't see your son. Why is Kyle comparing her son, Garcelle's minor son, to Morgan Wade? What, like, can we just bring that out? And also, it was the same son that they made fun of, and he had all that vitriol and all that stuff, all the racist stuff that he got. Like, why are we comparing the two? These are all the things Garcelle has to swallow and not say anything because she might say the wrong thing. So, I mean, good luck to you guys. You guys are mean. Calling her the witches of Eastwick? Oof. Anyways,
Can
well,
we talk about Dorit and her like attack on Sutton in the most recent?
yeah.
It was just Dorit is such a nasty. I've never liked her. And this season where she people are like, "Oh, she's changed." I'm like, and she's still terrible, just a different kind of terrible.
I like to read when she's going after Kai. That
Exactly. That's the only time I liked her. That's
that's
the
the
only
only
time I
time I
liked
like
her
her.
all season.
They were arguing about her fighting for her job. I think this reunion was her fighting for her job because now there's actually a divorce on the table and PK is not on her side. So she needs this for next season. So I think that's what she was doing. This reunion was fighting for her spot for the next season. But she went over the top and no one reined her back. That's what was so annoying to me.
I feel like Sutton and Dorit have a legitimate argument, but the argument always seems mismatched because Dorit has the stupid Fox Force 5 to back her up with her nonsense no matter what.
And
And
Bose.
then she just go like this past time she just went too far. Like she just kept on verbally abusing her. And then Sutton didn't say anything and she just kept on going and no one told her, "Hey, you want to stop? You want to interject?" No, just name calling and your house on the main road
Yeah.
kills me.
And that's what I do think Dorit was right there. Like Sutton, stand up. Like, where were you all? I mean, Sutton's not always nice, but where was the we need that energy at the reunion, but she's so wanting to be liked by these people that she went mute. She was already anticipating it from the beginning because they attacked Garcelle and she went there to cry to Garcelle and saying, "Oh, mine's coming up. I didn't appreciate it when you put me under the girl." If you say these things, be prepared to face the music at the reunion. I wish she had more comebacks. The only thing she had was like, what was that weak thing, honey? And I'm like, what was that supposed to be? I don't know. But
I also like I enjoyed Jennifer Tilly on the season, but I don't really care about her expensive shit. I get that that's part of the Beverly Hills thing, but I'm like a whole segment on how Jennifer Tilly has lots of money is
yeah,
not that interesting to me.
yeah, I think you're in the minority because a
I
lot of
know.
people, yeah, they're like, oh, Beverly Hills, I love how rich they are. So she brings that. I enjoyed her. She's what I think Kathy Hilton is supposed to be. Until today, I don't know why Kathy Hilton is on the show. It's not like she's an ally for her sister. She's friends with her sister's enemies. So,
I do enjoy that part. I love how Kathy Hilton is Team Garcelle.
and then, oh, okay, yes, that's what Erica tried to shade that they're up Kathy Hilton's. Erica is a terrible human being. Again, I respect her as a housewife. I think she's top tier, but she's just mean. How can they call somebody else mean girls? This is amazing to me. That's a lack of self awareness. Oh man. All right. Do you have anything else?
And I have nothing else. I hate them all though.
Hmm, we do. Not enough to stop watching, but yeah.
Exactly.
All right, we're gonna round it up with 90 Day Fiance, the original, and we'll just go through with each couple. Like I said, I don't think a lot has happened, but we'll start with Shekinah and Sarper. Um, I think I'm still surprised that Sarper is coming off so likable.
I actually stopped fast forwarding because you said he was likable and I could see it. I was like, okay, he's not, it's not terrible. It's not
Shekinah is
terrible.
still terrible,
Shekinah's
but
terrible, yes.
that whole scene with her friend, the French one, this is just a 90-day thing. We can see the production and everything now. Like sometimes it's not a thing. They make a thing, and then they don't know how to act, and then it's just painful to watch. Did you watch that scene?
I did, and I was like, this is what I mean by Sarper is coming off so much better. He's basically like, okay, like no reaction, no antagonism, just kind of like, okay, you don't like me, all right.
That's
I'm better
fine.
now than I was. That's all I got to say.
He said, I'm like a whole new person. And then Shekinah is like, I really like this person. And then Sarper's like, I hate this version of myself. He's like, no, I want to fight, but I have to use my words and I have to be a good person. But I have a question for you. Do you think he has not met Sophie before?
I would be really horrified. Like, how many times has Shekinah gone to visit? She couldn't afford
Mm,
an extra plane ticket one time so her daughter could meet her future husband.
The answer is
I,
nine, by the way, nine times.
uh, I'm sorry I didn't answer your question, which I just I hope not. That's all I can say. I hope that this is a lie and he's actually met her.
We're on the same page. What do my notes say? My notes say verbatim. I think that's crazy to introduce your child to your significant other for the first time on camera. That is not like a good idea to do, but I just couldn't tell. I'm not getting the impression that they have met before, but I'm hoping that that's a lie.
I
And
don't
then
want
when
to do this because we do this a lot with the 90 Day Fiance moms. But like, how involved a parent is Shekinah?
she's a boarding school mom, I don't
It
know.
seems a little bit worse than that.
Well, okay. I want to give her credit from what we know that every time she went to Turkey, she couldn't stay long. She only stayed the 6 weeks because that's when her daughter comes out of school or something every 6 weeks. So that is impressive that it's not like she could easily be like, well, I'm going to miss this time that you're out and I'm not going to be there. But she comes back. The problem is, I don't know if that's exactly true. Is she coming back to make money and she has appointments, or is she really coming back because she has to see her daughter? I don't know.
Okay.
But in that vein, I was gonna ask. She said, "Oh, if they meet, if they don't like each other, then she no matter what happens, she has to choose her daughter." And I said, "Do you believe Shekinah would choose her daughter over a man?"
It just sounds so stupid. Look, the amount of money and time that it takes to get somebody over here on a K1 visa, this is the other thing. They come to this TV show to lie because you've told the US government that you plan to marry this person. Not you plan to marry this person if their daughter likes them. Oh, you plan to marry this person if we're compatible when we live together. No, you said you're getting married.
Yeah,
So I don't.
yeah.
I guess this is one of the frustrations with 90 Day Fiance. I can't form opinions because I'm not even sure what's true.
Yes. That's what I'm saying is like you don't know how much is just production. And then for some of us, I mean, you know more because you're closer to it, but like for some of us who know like the process or understand it, because we're going to talk about one of the couples, Maddie and Stevie, who I think they're just making up stuff. And if you don't know about it, you're just going along with it, but it's not true. It's not like that's not factual. And they're just doing it for drama. So I don't know. I just didn't know if I believe Shekinah because, as they tell us in the past, she has chosen men over her daughter. So hopefully that's behind her and that's it. But her daughter is so beautiful. But I think it'll go well. Sarper is very likable.
In small doses.
um oh, my other question is she allowed to have a spa or whatever at her home? Is it a is it an office space or that she has a bedroom, or is it an apartment that she made an office spa?
Someone needs to talk to the city of LA or wherever she lives about their coding laws. Is this thing up to code?
Yeah, because why would she even put that on camera if it's
I mean, she'll
against
make more
the
money
law?
probably from doing 90 Day Fiance than she will from whatever treatment she's doing.
Do you know how much they get paid?
I don't know. Did we ever find out?
I mean, if anyone was going to find out, it would be you. I don't know. I never look. The 90 days, like, not in my 90 days sister wives, not in my wheelhouse of going deep diving for that. All right, let's move on to the couple that I really, really hate their segments. And that's like the fake throuple, Amani, Ani, and Matt. And this is so ridiculous. I don't know what they're fighting about. I don't know how you are planning a divorce to bring her over, but you haven't set ground rules. Like, what do you have for these people?
Exactly. Everything you just said. They have actually switched to my fast forward couple from
Yeah,
Shekinah and Sarper because it's all just so ridiculous and they're all so very unlikable. There's no one to
they
root for.
they deserve it. Like, Matt had sex with Annie without Amani because Amani wasn't feeling well. And then Amani felt left out. And then she was mad at Matt that he didn't say anything. Matt, I don't understand. Is he here with us? Is he creepy? Is he what? Like, I hate the way he talks. He talks like an AI setting. I just, but he does seem like he likes Annie more than he likes someone. Um, I don't know. But okay, let's assume that they're in a true throuple. If I was in a throuple, I would have a problem being the odd man out. because at the same time, Annie's taking them to the parents and she's introducing Matt as her boyfriend and Amani as her friend. So that's twice now
Uh,
she's the odd man out. But then there's a plot twist. Annie is in this relationship because of Amani, and she likes Amani more than she likes Matt. And isn't this the point where Amani says, no, that is not what we signed up for? But she's she has so much ego that I think like this is what makes her feel better. This is after she throws a tantrum, guys, by the way. She has a tantrum, she walks away, and then she says you can't turn a hoe into a housewife? That is wild.
Someone purporting to be their former nanny went on
Oh.
Reddit to be like, they are terrible parents. Um, Amani is a terrible mother and a terrible human being. Their house was miserable. I was miserable working there. The kids were sweet, but she was a nightmare and he wasn't much better. That and I believe it.
Yeah, I can too. I just I don't your wife throws a tantrum and walks away and you do not go after your wife. You sit down with the girlfriend. I think that's a bad call. And then he says he's stuck in the middle. And I'm like, I don't think you're stuck. Just choose your wife. You've been together for 10 years. You just met this woman. So I don't know how this is gonna go, but I don't know if Annie's telling the truth that she does like Amani better, or she's just trying to calm her down because before that she told her, you're so dramatic. You're just full of drama and you just like drama and I don't do that. So
How can you say you don't like drama? Meanwhile, you're in a throuple with these two drama queens. Well, one drama queen.
I'm playing along with this because I don't know. I don't know how she can do this because what scares me is they both have children. This is just ultimately all I think about every time I'm around them. I'm like, you're living in your bubble, you don't have any kids, but this is not real life. When you do have real life, so Amani is already the breadwinner right now because Matt doesn't work. He hasn't worked for years. And she comes over. She's not going to be able to work. She has, is it two kids or three kids?
I haven't kept track of that.
Okay. So what is the plan? Are you just gonna turn her like just to stay home, take care of the kids while you work? And Amani's the kind of person that's gonna weaponize like I make money because we saw that in the that financial show. I make the money. You should do that. And then if Annie and Matt are at home alone, what happens next? So you know
I
this
know
is
these
only
people
gonna
don't
end
have
well.
any semblance of a plan to grow up, and yeah,
Yeah.
there's a strong part of me that thinks this is all just to get on TV.
Yeah. Of course it is. I mean, of course it is. Like I said,
Oh,
I'm
and some
playing.
nookie
I'm
on the
playing
side for
along.
both of them, in addition to getting on TV.
I'm playing along. That's what I'm doing, assuming that this is a real relationship. I'm just curious to see how the tell all is going to play out. All right, let's go to Maddie and Stevie. Last time we talked about them, you were like, they don't have any issues. I agree with you. I don't think they have any issues. So to me, all these are manufactured. And if this is not manufactured, then this is ridiculous because I think it's perfectly normal when you come to a new country to miss your parents and your family, especially with the possibility that you might never see them again because you can't go back. It is also perfectly normal that if you're in any relationship, there is a chance that you might break up. There's also a chance you might stay together. But telling him not to talk to his family every day,
Oh, that was wild.
that is crazy.
You know what made me wonder though? The only excuse I could give for her is even though they live in the same town, I wonder if she doesn't talk to her family every day.
I thought about that. Then I thought about how she said she's so close to her dad. And I'm just wondering if Maddie was just like, maybe you shouldn't talk to your dad. How is that going to go about? And I guess it's stereotypical. I don't know how, it's just a stereotype. But people always say that the American culture or definition of family, it's not one that you do all the time. You see people who get engaged and the family's never met who the partner is going to be. So that's a possibility. But from what I gathered, she's close to her dad, at least, or her
It seemed
family.
like she was close to her dad, close to her parents. I also like the problem is I could see her logic. I was just like, your mouth should have never opened to say that. She's
I
like,
can't
if you're
see
talking
her
to them every
logic.
day and it's just making you sad, then perhaps you should stop talking to them every day. That's logical, yes, but no, that's stupid. Why would he stop talking to his family?
I don't think it's logical because he just left. If he's been there for like no, it doesn't. Even if he's been there a year, if you're okay, so even Sarpa when he left, the fear that is at the back of all of these people's minds is like, my parents are getting older. I mean, Maddie's young, but my parents are getting older. I have no way of seeing them. If something happens, especially, from cultures where they're so intertwined and they do everything for their parents, I don't know what's going to happen. He just made a huge change where he just left. And that's forefront of his mind. Like, I just chose you. I am here. Stevie knows he's not going. He said it himself. He can't go back. Like,
This man loves America. He really does.
yes, he loves his freedom. He gets to be himself. And if he never wanted to do that, he wouldn't get on the plane. So for you to just say, if you're thinking about going back, and then what was the other thing? If we break up, you're staying here. Why would you think about us breaking up? Because he's a normal human being. That he shouldn't have said. That, but Maddie's, pipeline is in my head. It's coming out my mouth. The man doesn't like
uh,
filter.
too honest. Too
Yes,
honest.
he is too honest. So I just think she's not giving him grace that he just left. And I think it's just hitting him that, oh my God, I just made this huge thing and I don't know if I'm ever going to see my family again. So he's talking to them, just, we don't know if they're sad on the other side too. And he has to pacify them because these people forget that they have family over there who's worried about, the kid in the new place and they have nobody. So just opening your mouth to say don't talk to them every day is, and she was saying, and I kept saying, I kept saying in my head, do you hear the words that are coming out of your mouth? Like at some
Uh,
point in the confessional, say, I know it sounds crazy, but it was just a solution. But Maddie says he's feeling isolated now and he feels like he can't explain to her, you know, what she thinks. But also, it could just be a manufactured problem, just like him wondering if she's bisexual. Do you think she's bisexual? Because she actually never said no.
I forgot about that whole line of things. Once they did his arm in this last episode, I was like, oh, I mean, she just appreciates the human body, no matter the gender. I don't know if she's bisexual.
Okay, yeah, she just refused to say no. She was like, "Why would he even ask me that?" And she never said no. And the producer was like, "Wouldn't it be easier to just say no?" And she's like, "No, I'm not going to give in to that." And then I thought, what if she is, but she's in the South, and she just can't actually come right out and say it because his concern was like, why is she just painting boobs?
But
Like,
I also understand her point of view that, like, just because I paint boobs, that you jump to bisexual. How do we get there?
because it's from a different world.
Okay.
Yeah, like you
Well,
have to look at him as like a baby, like just rediscovering a whole new world. In his world, you just don't paint boobs for fun and because you feel like it. So, and that's where I'm like, just try to understand where he's coming from. And she's there playing games. This man is like very, black or white, even no matter how irrational that it is. And it just clicked to me that there is a 10-year difference between them, and they
hmm.
haven't talked about kids.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, because she's 37. So I don't know if she wants kids. She hasn't mentioned that she wants kids. He hasn't mentioned that he wants kids. So I don't know where they stand on that or if they're saving that for another season and another problem where it comes up
I was like, either saving it for another season or it's a non-issue, and so that's why we're not hearing about it. Because if it was an issue, we'd be hearing about it to death.
already. All right. So earlier in the episode, we were talking about some of the things that they say and then they play up. Maddie decides that they need to get married. Why, you ask? Because the prices for the green cards are going up and they need to do it to beat the prices. No one's saying that they're not going up, but hey, correct me if I'm wrong. It's not going up like in 90 days. There'll be like four different prices.
Uh, yeah. So the prices went up at one point, maybe 2 years ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, the prices is not going up unless their lawyer or something is charging different prices. But the actual price for the application was going to be the same whether they did it now or in 90 days.
I mean, they said it, and I was like, did I miss something? Like, this just gonna be, you have 90 days. This 3 months, it's not. And then Stevie's like, I do like the part where she says, you forget that it's a two-way thing. You just think I'm just gonna marry you. I mean, she is, but she's like, I have to decide if I want to marry you. Like, since you came
No.
here, you've been talking about the fact that you might go back, and I'm like, how did you hear that? The man doesn't want to go back. You fed him a funnel cake. He's not going back.
And once again, I don't know why you're on this TV telling us that you lied to the US government. You told the US government you wanted to marry this man. Please bring him over here so I can marry him. Now you're saying, oh, I need more information. That time has passed, hon. That time has passed.
Oh man, these 90-day people. I have 90 days to decide if I want to get married. No, you should have decided before you filed. So, all right. Is there anything else with these two and their non issues?
No, they are. I enjoy them.
Yeah. No, they really annoyed me this last batch. I'm not going to lie. Just Mina just being, I said Mina. Stevie just being ridiculous. Who do I enjoy? Mina. That's why I said Mina. Mina and Mark. Mina and Mark, like this is let me tell you, Mina is polarizing. Some people don't like her and some people do like her. I like her because she's not taking shit. We've talked about this before where it seems to be like the trope is I brought you to America and you should be grateful. And then when people start standing up for themselves, it's kind of like, why? And that's what Mina is doing. Like, I don't care. I met this man. He promised me kids. Our ages were the same. I don't know what you discussed with your other daughter, but I want kids. You said yes. Don't come and change this around on me, and you're not going to talk to me crazy. Jordan is actually crazy.
Jordan is crazy. And this is what I find most frustrating when I watch Mina and Mark. Mina has really good English, but she doesn't have good enough arguing English. So I feel like most of the time we're watching her be unable to express what she would actually like to say because she can't do it that quickly or that fast in English. And it's like, I'm frustrated on her behalf. I'm like, can we
Mm-hmm.
get her an interpreter? Which maybe there is one. I don't know. Can we get
Mm-hmm.
her an interpreter to have these conversations? Because I feel like she would be able to express herself.
Yeah. And to your point, I mean, there's someone who said, like, you forget when English is not your first language. For everything that you're gonna say, you're first of all translating it, trying to make sure that it's correct and say it out so it doesn't come out exactly how it wants to. And Jordan knows that because at some point she was like, she asked her dad, she knows what a prenup is, right? And I just thought that was so insulting. Like, what are you trying? What is Jordan's point? Actually, your dad already had a kid. What are we fighting for? The inheritance not to be last? Like, you're both fighting for money. Let's assume Mina wants his money. Shouldn't you be friends so that if something happens, you get a good piece of it?
Mark is also very, very annoying in these situations. The way he brought up that prenup was really rude and really wrong, and I could totally see why she was upset. And they ganged up on her, and I didn't like that either. Didn't look good.
Yeah, I liked how his mom did though. His mom brought that perspective and was like, it just feels like they're ganging up on her. She came from a whole new country. You guys are forgetting that she had to leave her son. So that's a whole thing. So deal with and it just seems so early to be talking about all of these things. Like if Jordan is scared about losing her dad, it's just too late to bring up all these arguments. Is all I'm saying. Like he already had another younger child. He's probably gonna have more, and he's already going to get married because Mina is already wearing a wedding band, by the way. So I
These
don't know.
people are so uptight. Like, if I have to hear one more about this stupid party that they had in France that they just did not feel that Mina worshipped them enough at, like, the more they talk about it, the more I get on her side. I'm like, what is your problem? She was
Yeah,
taking too long to get ready. She had appointments. We just didn't feel very welcomed. I, the dynamic is not pretty. Oh, we got refundable tickets for your wedding because we don't know what's going to happen. Okay.
they keep saying that, but they keep skipping over the first night, which they all agreed that she cooked for them. They were welcome. The mom was the only one who said she was nice and we felt well, and and we had it all in there, and they had pictures. They just brush over that because it doesn't fit the narrative of what they're trying to say. I do want to point out that I do think his family could be worse because I do think at the core they are kind. They're not like mean and all that, and I appreciate that their family is diverse.
I
I
was
saw a
wondering
few.
who that black woman was.
I was wondering too, but Jordan's boyfriend is not white. That lady's there. So, there's some different faces. So, that makes me feel better at least. And the other thing is just it's just a TV show because I think Jordan had something on her story like, they need a villain and she just wasn't she said she didn't know she was going to be the villain. I was like,
Ugh,
"How did you not know that?" You're basically telling your dad to get a prenup and you don't want to lose him. Of course you're going to be the villain.
and we have not seen
So,
you touch your sister, the baby. Not seen you
they
hold her, not seen you give her a kiss.
no,
Nothing.
I will say she held her this last time after she apologized because Mark was saying, "Oh, my two girls together" and all that stuff. So, yeah. Um, I don't think Mina is wrong every time she calls Jordan a snake. I'm just like, that is the
Me
right word.
either.
I like that she's saying, "Oh, it could be the translation that makes it." No, she knows what she's saying because she is moving snaky. You can't. She's saying awful things with a smile. And then when she came up to Mina and then demanded an apology, but didn't apologize to Mina, I'm like, Jordan, okay, we're not going to do is this. So I just think the annoyance is that Mina is not presenting as grateful and she's standing for her right. Like, I am your wife. Yes, you're the daughter, but I am your wife. I do think, though, she should not call her husband's daughter a snake, but she is moving snaky. That much I will say. But like I said, just be friends and split the money that you guys are fighting for together.
I enjoyed her like telling Mark straight up, "Oh, I'm not signing a prenup."
She said it so casually when they got back.
That's all
On the
I need to
ferry.
say in front of your family who you blindsided me in front of, but, no, I'm not doing that.
He said, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm not signing it." I mean, I will say, I say this all the time. I don't know what people's things against the prenup are. Just read it and make sure you're good. But um, Aaliyah and Sean, why are they together?
That age difference disturbs me more and more each time I see it.
That's just one of many things. I. It's not easy to fill all the papers and all that for a K1 visa and bring someone over. Why did he go through all that, spend all that money, and he doesn't seem to like her? Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry, it was funny. He did say, like, I guess he finally explained why in this last episode where he's like, "The person who I loved is still there. It's just in a different form. I still love that person. I can do," and he actually talked about their relationship, which I enjoy. Like, we can just be together and we're happy. And I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I get it."
But Aaliyah has been open. I want to be a woman. The goal is to be a woman. More than likely, I am going to have full bottom surgery. That is the end goal. So if you know that's not, he also blatantly said, if she eventually gets the surgery, that's not what I want. Why even bother? And honestly, it seems so minor, but she asked for a puppy and he basically got her a full grown dog. So I feel like he just doesn't like her.
That I it's not. I think he's still in struggle about who she is. I'm
Because,
tired of it though.
well, I mean, I think he's feeling struggle because she still has her anatomy. And I think they just have to think forward. They can't live in the now. And it would be, if it was a case where we didn't know what the future would be, then I would understand. But there is an ending, and Aaliyah is clear about the ending. And even for Aaliyah, I feel like Aaliyah wants to be a woman in LA.
Uh,
So that's what she gets out of it. Sean, I don't know, because then she's not even comfortable with the open relationship. She's a germaphobe. All of that is not something she wants. So again, I ask, why are they together? They're not on the same page about anything.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So I'm just thinking, yeah. I do want to say I'm with Aaliyah though. You cannot raw dog your toothbrush open just there in the bathroom. You gotta get a case.
Uh, the funny thing
So,
is, as much as angst as they're having, I think I mean, despite what that preview said, my prediction for them is they're gonna be married and they're gonna be fine.
oh, I think they're gonna get married. I think the question would be how long are they going to last if she transitions fully. I think that's just a question mark for them. I think they can make it work, but I think like that would be what they have to deal with if that
Also, where
happens.
are his children?
I think they're coming next episode
Okay, I'm glad
because
to see it because this is
they
you
don't
can't
know.
just be marrying people and they haven't met your child. It's even if
have
your
you
children are grown-ups.
have you
I think he's a
met?
grandparent.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you still yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I do. I mean, I don't always get the best chemistry with them. The sweetest thing I saw was when he brought the scrapbook and was like, we can make new memories together and things like that. But we'll see how it works out. All right. Juan and Jessica. It's not even about Juan and Jessica anymore. It's about Megan. Megan with an I. Megin. She's being weird. I don't think in all of my life I've ever cried for a friend whose boyfriend cheated on them. And that's a lot. It's not a deep. I just when Jessica said I'm her only she said, I'm one of her closest friend, if not her only friend. So when Juan cheated on me, it was like he cheated on her. I said, no, honey, no, it's not. It's not the same.
I feel like we have to talk about the cheating and rehash the cheating, and someone needs to cry about the cheating because they literally have nothing going on.
I mean, they should have a lot. I just feel like Juan is gonna get bored pretty soon. Unless they move out, and she's not moving out because the kids. Also, did you see that walk to her husband's house and the stark difference? It was like,
It's a very nice house.
it was very nice. One was like, wow, they have this here. So yeah, so I don't think she's able to move again because of the two boys, and I don't know what is one gonna do. He's in the service industry and they don't have much. So that's what I'm interested to seeing what's going on. But that's the only thing. Megan is like, she has to do twice the work to trust Juan again. And I'm like, wait,
Ooh,
no, you
why?
don't.
Who are you?
No, you don't. And she's like, it better be the only incident so I can move forward. I'm like, okay, this is getting weird.
Very weird.
So, all right. I mean, truly, there's nothing about them. Oh wait, the only thing was like her friend is kind of shady too because she just randomly mentioned that the guy Jessica talked to was her ex-boyfriend and Juan didn't know that. So I don't even know if she has good intentions for Jessica. Or is she in love with Jessica? I don't know. Last and not the least is Joan. Are you now on
Joan,
board?
I
Are
am
you?
now no like Greg is needs to get a job. I yes. I was giving Greg too much like credit before, and then literally the episode after we record, I was like, oh yeah, he's a problem. But I like Joan. Joan is such an African woman.
Why? Why you say that?
In a good way, in the way of like when this man says, "Oh, I don't have who has money for for cows," and this woman says, "Other people have money. You just don't have money." No, she didn't say it with anger. She didn't say it with rancor. She's just saying stating
Factually.
facts.
Factually. You say all this, you do all this, and Greg is surprised when she says, if you don't get a job or anything, I'm going to turn around and head home. He's like, why would you say that? Why wouldn't she say that, sir?
Uh,
Oh, man. I think one of the gross things, so they can only have sexy time when his mom goes to work. And we don't know when she's coming back. And then they were watering her plants and stuff. And he's like, move away. I don't want to get you wet. And he's like, I already did. Joan was so shocked. I think she stared at the producer or the cameraman or somebody, and her eyes just widened. Like, did he just say that? And I'm like, yeah, that's who you married. Even his friends think he's a bum, Aid.
they do. They're
Do
basically like, so why are you marrying our friend? Why did you come here?
you think he has a job?
Yeah, I
Again,
do.
yeah, I think it because this next episode is going to be an interview, and she's like, if you don't get the interview, that's it. And then I just know he's going to get the job, and I'm like, I have hunted for jobs before. It's not that one interview, one job, you get it. And it's for the government or state or something like that he's targeting. He's so specific that I think he probably has that job already. And
That'll like wrap up the storyline as Greg gets a job.
Yeah, and we're just playing along. By next season, and by the time he gets his TLC check and all that, so we're like, we got our own apartment and stuff. But I wonder if he says if we stay here longer, we can build more of a down payment to get a house. Would she agree to that? Would she be like, nope, let's just get an apartment?
I think they just need to get an apartment. I also like, I don't know, people have been telling me that working for the state of New York is like amazing, benefits are amazing, the
Yeah.
retirement is amazing, and that he should be definitely just getting that job. So hopefully.
Yeah. Okay. Was that all the couples? Did I get all of them? I hope.
I hope you got all of them because I'm not going to remember.
Well, if we forgot anyone, let me know and we share your thoughts on that. So I think that was it. Any final thoughts that you have?
I appreciate OG 90 Day. I'm not watching 90 Day Diaries. I did not watch 90 Day Last Resort. And I am good with that decision.
Well, Aid, it is always a pleasure to have you on. I will have you back on many more times. And guys, be on the lookout. We are waiting for the Sister Wives Tell All. We will be covering that, right,
I
Aid?
we will, but the thing is, I keep on seeing ads and it seems like they're not going to do the tell all before they return to the show. Like are we going to have the show interspersed with tell all? It's very unclear.
Much like Sister Wives, we shall find out.
We
We
shall
start
find
seeing
out.
things on there. Well, guys, you know where to find me. It is Altar Call Maps, ALTARCALLMAFS on Instagram, on Twitter, on Blue Sky, and on Threads. And if you'd like to send an email, just add at gmail.com. Please give me a 5-star rating on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. And until next week, I will talk to you guys then. Bye, guys.
Bye.